Good morning, everyone. It's Rose Coleman coming to you live from my craft room here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada with my coffee. It is May 1st. Yesterday I did a little dancing song. It's gonna be May. It's May. We're here. We've made it. If you're in North America, we have made it through the first 4 months of winter. I mean, typically here in Calgary, we can get winter every month of the year, right? But today we're waking up to May 1st, blue sunny skies. I hope we don't ever see the S word for a few months, but I'm not naive. Good morning, Alexina. How is it over in Nova Scotia? Hi, Elaine. Good morning, good morning. Hello, Annika, joining us from the Netherlands. Good to see you. It's 21 degrees. Wow, that's warm. That's really nice. It's going to get warm here too. Tomorrow is Friday and we're supposed to get up to 25 degrees tomorrow. Woohoo. Hi, Kathy Clark. Hello, hello. Today I have a fun card. Hi, Krista. Hello, Leanne. Hello, Marie from sunny Montreal. The sun is shining right across Canada today. I love it. Hello, TJ. Hi, Shelly from Sacramento. Hello, Lori from San Francisco Bay Area. Hello, Nancy from Florida. Wow, it's so good to see you all popping in here with me today. Yesterday, I mentioned it was my husband's birthday. We went out to his favorite restaurant last night for wings. He loves hot wings. So we went out and we had a lovely meal. And then instead of buying a cake, because we just had our son Andrew's birthday 4 days ago, right? So we had a big cake for that. So everybody's been eating cake all week. Now that cake is finally gone. I'm like, what do I do for Kev's birthday? And I know he wouldn't want me to buy a big cake. So I went to this fancy pastry bakery. Remember I was telling you about it yesterday? And I found these lovely cakes and they had them by the slice or you could get the full cake. Now the full cakes were expensive. They were like $75 a cake, right? And I was like, he'll kill me if I come home with a $75 cake, especially after we've just been eating cake, right? And we need to like not eat cake every day. So I bought the slices. They had slices all ready to go. So I bought 4 different slices and I came home and put them on the glass plate, like my cake stand and everything. And when we came back from supper, I went out from the garage, the fridge in the garage, and I brought it in. He was so thrilled. He was like, oh, we get to sample all these different flavors. And then we can choose when we go back if we want to get a different one. There was 4 of us, me and the 2 kids and Kev. So we had a lovely evening. And, you know, that's what it's all about, right? Just being together and just sharing fun times. And my daughter, I have to share with you, she said to me, I wanted to make something, because, you know, my daughter's a sculpture major, right? She's like, I want to make something for Dad. I'm like, your dad doesn't worry. You don't need to make anything for Dad for his birthday, right? So anyway, I didn't know what she was doing. She was in her room. She came out just before we left for dinner. And she had made this cute little guy. I'll have to show you a picture. I'll post a picture of her with this guy. I mean, my daughter blows my mind. She's like my dad, right? She just comes up with things. And she's been saving these little metal pieces. You know those little tiny houses that you can put together as little shelf houses? You actually can put them in the bookshelves with your books. She loves doing tiny houses. So she said, oh yeah, I just save all the little pieces that are left over, the extra pieces. And she said, like, it's basically, she made him a little character. He's about this tall and he's made out of a bunch of metal things. She had metal screws, a metal, she was pointing it out to us, you know, the top of a lamp, a lampshade. What else was in there? A metal, what goes in a sewing machine? What is that called again? My God, I can't words this morning. Bobbin. There's a metal bobbin in there. There's screws. His 2 arms are floppy and they're made from keychains. Like, I was just looking at her. I'm like, how do you come up with this stuff? Like, so she said, I thought you could put that on your desk at work, take it to work. And you know, he will, right? He just was beaming when he saw what she made. Like, just knowing that she made it with her own 2 hands, like, what a special gift, right? And it just reminded me of what we do with stamping and creating and making cards and boxes and albums for people. It is well received, my friends. It is well received. And the money you spend on your hobby is not wasted. I always say it's therapy. It is, yeah, she's very creative, yes. It's therapy. It is your wellness. It is a wellness thing. What we are doing is taking care of our mental health. Big time, big time. Many people reach out to me and they say to me, I started stamping during COVID and I did not stop because it made me feel better. It lifted my spirits. It lifted my heart. I was able to share things with people. I could pop my card in the mail. Even though I couldn't go see people physically, I could send them a card, right? So it's like, yeah, I just had a reminder last night. Oh, thanks so much, TJ. But I really don't take credit for that. The only credit I take for Amanda's creativity is that I may have passed on some genes from my dad to her. Because my dad is like that. He can see things and just like make them with his hands. But anyway, well, thank you for the compliment. Handmade is better. Absolutely, Janet. It is the best thing you can do in your lifetime. Try something with your hands, because I always feel like when you use your hands, you make your brain feel better, right? You know, don't sit idle. Do something. My grandmother taught me that too, my dad's mom. She was always doing something. She didn't even have learning from school, like book learning, right? So she, traditionally, you know, people didn't stay in school. They started families very, very young, right? And she just could do anything. She could crochet, she could knit, she could cook. Oh my gosh. I have crocheted tablecloths, like full-on tablecloths from my grandmother, because she was always, right up until she passed away, she was always doing something with her hands, right? So it's definitely a fun thing. Okay, I could talk about that for days. Hi, Dorothy. Alrighty, I have a fun technique to share with you today that I think you're gonna love, and it's something that if you have embossing folders, you can do this one. So let me just flip the camera. We're still playing with flower cart, and this card is really fun. I'm gonna make a bunch of these and send them out. I think it's gonna be, it's quick, well, it's kind of a quick and easy card. I'll just gotta show you how we set this up so that you can use this technique in your own stamping. And scrapbooking too. You can use this on a scrapbook page. Absolutely. Alrighty, here we go. Hi, Joyce from sunny Nevada. It's good to see you. Hi, France. Good morning. All right, I'm going to flip the camera, point you down at my work surface, and share with you this fun technique card. Here we go. Okay, so there's my sunny backyard. Oh, it's going to be so nice to sit out there later when it warms up. I love the sun. Okay, so let's get started here. We have flower cart. Here it is. And I'm inspired for this card from the Stampin' Up! Website. You know, when you go on to the Stampin' Up! Website and you order a stamp set, and you pull it up on the screen and you click the arrows, there's different cards that the concept design artists have made. And I love to see what they have made, because that's the true inspiration, right? The Stampin' Up! Gives us the best inspiration in their catalogs and online on their online store. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to do some partial embossing. Okay, so we're going to bring in an embossing folder. And I'm so happy to report that this one is staying. This is, hi, Dorothy. Thanks for being here. Carol Ann says it was her hubby's birthday yesterday, too. Awesome. Yeah, lots of birthdays in April, hey? My goodness, so many. Okay, so we're going to play with this eyelet embossing folder, and we're going to make a background, a really cool background. I love embossing folders, but sometimes, you know, when you use them, you're like, oh, now I need a punched out or a die cut to put my greeting on the front. I'm going to show you a way that you can partial die cut this, or sorry, partial embossed. So you leave a flat spot for, hi, Diane. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Jody. Thank you all for being here. Hi, Cindy. Hello, hello. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the folder and we're going to partially emboss a piece of cardstock. But to do that, you have to make a specialized shim, okay? So this right here is, you know, when you buy designer series paper, you get this cardboard, you can see the writing on here. So this is the piece that they, oh, TJ put this in her cart for tomorrow's order. Yeah, there you go, TJ, get this one. It's amazing. So When you get this paper, don't throw it out, don't recycle it, use it. So I've taken a full sheet and I've cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I have 6 sheets here, right? So 6 sheets, and then I wanted to create the area that's going to be flat where I can stamp on my embossed layer. So this is made using the Everyday Arches dies. So you just need a die cut or a punch or something. So I pulled in the Everyday Arches right here. I still got some stuck in my die here. And what I did was I cut 2 at a time, and I didn't want you to have to watch me run it through 3 times, but I did cut 2 at a time. This is the die that I use. So if we count from the middle, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th largest die. I use that one. And I cut 2 at a time to make this shim, okay? So you can stack your pieces. You could use regular cardstock too, but I thought, well, we might as well reduce, reuse, and recycle and use this glossy cardstock that comes in the pack of DSP. So I went in and I just, here, let me show you on my glass mat. So I took 2 pieces at a time and I laid the die on the side and I used some Post-it tape and I cut the arch, right? Then that wasn't thick enough to get me the look I wanted. So I took another couple, and I just kept going. Okay, so I stacked them, and I also used my pen to trace. You can trace them too and see where you want your arches. So then when you're done, you just take all 6 of these, okay? So take them together, and then you can grab, mine still has Scotch tape on it, but this, I'll just reuse that. So we're gonna put this one on top, stack them all, and then I'm using Scotch tape to secure them together so that they don't move. And it's not perfect. There's one that's off here, but I'm not gonna let that bother me because it's gonna work. Okay, so this is gonna go, what you do with this stack now, you're gonna put it on the outside of your embossing folder. So you take your embossing folder and you come in here. Now I have I'm going to be embossing a piece of cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5. So what I want to do is this gets taped to the outside of the folder, okay? Outside of the folder. And I know it doesn't feel right, but it'll work, trust me. So I'm taking this, I'm going to line it up with the line on the folder. So there's a black line down here by the Stampin' Up! Logo. So I'm going to take the stack and I'm going to line it up at the bottom here, lay it on the top of the folder. Use some Scotch tape to hold that down because we don't want that to move. This is what we're going to do, right? This is how we're going to get that embossed area. So, or the non-embossed area. So let's add a little more tape up here. Make sure it's going to stay put. And you know what? For good measure, let's put a piece at the bottom. Okay. So now let's grab our piece of cardstock that we're going to emboss. This is such a fun way to use your embossing folders. Okay, so we've got a piece of basic white. What did I say? 3 3/4? Yes, by 5. So let's trim it to 5. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop that into the folder. So remember, our little shim is on the outside. We're going to open up the folder. I'm going to take my white cardstock and I'm going to line it up at the top with that line, okay? So this is going to show me, when I close the folder, I'll see exactly where my flat part's going to be. So this is going to emboss flat. It's kind of a reverse psychology, you know, where the shim is, that's where it's actually going to be embossed, and this is going to be flat. You'd think it'd be the opposite, right? So it's a little reverse, but that's how it works. So wherever your shim is, I'm going to get that beautiful eyelet embossing. Okay. So now we're going to bring in, you haven't heard of this one, Marie? Ah! You know what? Maybe we did this one before you joined my technique club, because we've done it in the past couple of years. But you know what? I've been doing technique club for years and years and years, and I forget when I do different things. But everybody in technique club gets an insert for their binder so that when they give the card away, they'll be able to remember how to do the card, the technique, right? So that's the beauty of it. Okay. Oh, and Kathy's never seen it before too. Okay, this is awesome. I love showing you something new. I'm like, they've already seen this. Maybe they don't want to know. Okay, thanks for the feedback, you guys. So here's what we're going to do. This is a 3D folder, and we're going to put our platform number 1. You obviously always need platform number 1. You always want to put your spine of your folder into the wheels first, okay? Because you want the open area of your folder, the pressure to come out. If you do it the reverse, the pressure will always come to your fold and you could crack it. So don't do that. Put the crack in first. And Linda's never seen it before. Oh, I'm so happy I'm doing this, you guys. Okay, because this is a 3D folder, it's already thick. We're already adding thickness to it. You want to put a piece of just our clear plate. So you don't need any gray plate. You don't need your layer number 2, just a clear cutting mat. Okay, so I'm bringing in my cutting mat to go on top, putting the folder down with the cardstock inside and the shim tape to the top. And then we're going to put this on top and we're going to roll. Now, whenever you do this, you want to make sure that you're not giving it too, like if it gives you lots of resistance, back up. Don't force it because you probably got something, maybe you put in an extra layer. You don't need your layer number 2 or your other clear. Wow, everybody's commenting. Thanks, guys. I'm so happy that this is something new. We love learning new things, right? Okay, so again, just to recap, just your layer number 1, folder, right, with our doodad on the top and a clear plate. That's all you need. Let's take a look at what we've done. Okay, so open your folder. Now this is ready to go for you to do multiples, right? And you can actually like pull this off and store it in an envelope and write on it and say, these are my shims for my partial embossing. Now take a look at what I've got. I've got eyelet embossing over here, and I've got a beautiful flat area over here that I can stamp my greeting on. Isn't that amazing? I love this technique. Now, when I did it first, I needed to review this because it's been a while since I did it with my technique club. And I was like, okay, well, how do I do it again? So I cut a square of cardstock and I just stuck it on a scrap piece of paper and I ran it through and I'm like, ooh, okay, so the square, wherever you put that, it was chipboard I used. Wherever you put the chipboard is where you're going to get embossing and what's left over is flat. So keep that in mind if you try this with your dies and punches at home. Wherever you put that shim is going to be the embossed part. So it's a little bit of a reverse thinking. So I can understand why the ladies in my technique club love getting the binder insert. Let me give you a look at what that looks like. I use the Memories and More binders. And this is an old one here, but just to give you an idea, like they get the 4x6 at the top and the 4x6 at the bottom with the written description. They can put it in the binder if they want to. This was one from January. We did the melted crayon technique. Okay, so if they give away the melted crayon card, then they'll be able to come back to their binder and be able to review their notes and be able to recreate with all of the beautiful techniques. So this one is just one example of the gazillion techniques you can do, right? And I love teaching. So thanks so much, you guys, for your feedback. Okay, so there's the front of our card. We're going to bring in from the flower cart the stamp that says, have a lovely day. We're going to stamp that up here. You could probably put Mother's Day there if you want to, or I love how our friendship has grown. Like any of these greetings or happy hello, they would all work. And I'm going to grab Petunia Pop. We're going to stamp with Petunia Pop. So let me grab that stamp. I'm so happy I decided to do this morning. And yes, I decided this morning. Like sometimes I come downstairs and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. And I thought about this and I'm like, my interest was piqued when I saw this example on the Stampin' Up! Website. You can go and see, this is one of the sample cards. And it looks like they've used like a rectangle over here. And they also put one up here because it looks like a flat area here and here. So you could put multiple, you can make your shim look like whatever you want, right? Okay, so this is the front of the card. And we're going to put this onto a card. Do you have to live in Canada? You know what, Joyce? I currently do the Technique Club with my friend Christine Bertram from the United States. So I teach the class every month. So if you're from the US, you can reach out to Christine. And she sends the card kits out for the American people because I cannot sell product to people in other countries. I can sell PDFs, but I can't sell the actual product and I can't send kits. That's a Stampin' Up rule. But reach out to me if you have any questions about anything. I'm happy to help. Okay, let's go ahead here and glue this down onto my card front. Look at that. So easy. So easy, right? And I made the card front a little bit smaller on purpose so that we can get more of that petunia popping out over the edges here. Okay, so there's that. Let's put that off to the side, and we're going to bring in some die cuts. Let's see here. Let me see. Oh, and guess what, guys? I found my silicone mat. Remember I was telling you yesterday I couldn't find it? Here it is. It always resurfaces. Everything comes back, right? Silicone mat, I'm going to use that to do some stamping. I've already die cut the outline for the pots, right? We've got our pots on here. And then we're going to stamp those with pecan pie. Pecan or pecan. We're going to just go ahead. Now you can stamp and then die cut. Several of you say that. You're like, oh no, I was taught to stamp and then die cut. You can do that. There's two ways. There's many ways to do anything that we do here, right? I just like to do this so that I get a little bit ahead of the game when I'm working with photopolymer. I can get ahead of the game and get my die cutting all done. And you don't have to watch me run it through. I knew I was going to have to do a bit of explaining with the partial die cutting, so that was my reasoning. So there's my flower pots. Now there's also a die cut that will cut out the beautiful blooms. I've already cut that one out here, and we're going to bring that in. So that's a two-step stamp. So I like to do the leaves first. So we're going to grab the leaves. We're going to stamp them with Summer Splash. Thank you, Marlene. Summer Splash leaves. I love that. We're using all the in colors that came out last year. Oh, and I said I was doing leaves and I inked up the blooms. Okay, I caught myself. Let's clean that off because we don't want green flowers and colored leaves, right? So let's do it the right way. Okay, bringing in the leaves now. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to hover over our die cut. And when we're in the right position, I think we are, we press down. There we go. Okay, so there's our leaves. And then for the flowers, we're going to bring in, look at me closing my ink pads. Wow. Clean up. Yesterday I did a little cleanup video too. A little fast one. It was fun. To the Macarena. I had so much fun doing that one. Okay, got our flowers. Peach pie is the color. And we're going to go ahead and hover over our die cut, line up the flowers, and press down. Okay, so there's our flowers. We got our flower pots, we got our flowers, and what else do we have? Okay, so we're going to grab our dimensionals, and we're going to pop those on the back. So flip it over. We're going to put 2 dimensionals on each of these die cuts. One there, and 2 on this one. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and we're going to put this on the card front. We're going to put the pots down here. And then we're going to put our flowers right on top. And I'm going to try and maneuver this a little bit so that you see how they've got like indentation like that? I'm going to try and have it so that these flowers here look like they're down in the pot. You can actually do that. Just kind of, there we go. So that one's there. These are going to be out over the pot. And then the third grouping of tulips, I'm going to position it so that they're down in the pot. Just lift up the die cut. And then these ones are going to overlap on the outside. It's just a minor detail, but I thought it was fun to do that. Okay, so there's our blooms. And mine is just to the edge. I could move it over. Can I do it? Can I do it? Let's see. Sometimes, yeah, we can. Sometimes you can move things around, but it depends on how hard you press down. So I don't really want it to be off the edge that far. So let's try that again. Shimmy it over. Okay, so let's put the flowers in the same position. So the first and the third are being tucked down into the pot like that. And then this one over here is down and that one's out. So we got down, up, down, up. Okay, now we also have, oh my gosh, there's so many dies in this set, you guys. This die right here, like for $18.80, you're getting a lot of cool dies. You're gonna be able to make the wagon, the cart, the flower cart like I did yesterday, and look at the cute little banner right here. So we can always use a little banner, right? So I took that die and I cut out a Petunia Pop glimmer paper banner. And we're just going to put that right across the front of these pots. Make it a little bit blingy, make it sparkle, make it fancy. And here we go. So we're just going to add glue, just a dot to each of the little pennants on the banner. And we'll lay that right in front of those pots. There. Just sometimes it's just the little details, right? Okay, so there we go. We got that front pretty much all done. We do need to add some bling. So what I'm going to do today for bling is we're going to bring in some rhinestones. And there's my sheet. I'm going to use the Petunia Pop, dark petunia. Is this dark? Yes, dark petunia. And we're going to ink up 5 of these. Now, when you get your kits from me, if you live in Canada and you place a minimum $60 order, I will reach out to you. If you don't send me an email, I'll reach out and say, hey, thank you for your order. Was it for my 5 card kits this week? So it's up to you. If you want the card kits so that you can actually use your very own flower cart bundle to make them, then you can get them from me if you live in Canada. And that's a rule from Stampin' Up. I cannot sell to anyone outside of my own country. Same rule applies in the United States as well. Americans can't sell outside their country. It's just a rule. So when you get your card kits, these rhinestones will be colored for you. I will use my own Petunia Pop blend and make those Petunia Pop. Look at that. So easy, right? Now, if you want more sparkle, you guys know, add yourself some more to your order. Add some Wink of Stella, and you can bling up all the blooms so quickly with this little glitter pen. Here we go. We've got glittery flowers and glittery banner. And you're just saying, have a lovely day. So now the inside, you can do whatever it is you want. You can say whatever you want on the inside. So for mine, I gotta get another piece of white. I go through white like crazy. I use so much white cardstock. Okay, so let's bring in a piece of cardstock. Here, we're gonna go 4 1/4. And you get 8 of these out of a sheet, you know, and it's a good value, right? Because you don't need a huge piece to write your greeting. I'm just going to keep chopping these because I know I'm going to use them. So you get 8 of them out of a sheet of cardstock. You're welcome, Tony. I'm so happy to share. It makes my heart happy to share with you guys every day. That's why I keep coming back every day. Okay, here's my inside piece. We're going to say, have a lovely day on the front. Then from the stamp set, which you're going to need the stamp set. Look how beautiful it is. I love how our friendship has grown. Such a perfect greeting for anyone, right? I'm going to put this on here. You know what? I have so many fellow friends who are moms. I would love to send them a Mother's Day card from me because I respect their, you know, how they mother. And this would be a wonderful card to send to a mother that is not your mother, but it's a friend or someone that you admire. And so, you know, I think this one would be perfect. And then I could put on the envelope, I could say Happy Mother's Day, or I could stamp here Happy Mother's Day, and then say, I love how our friendship has grown. Because you've probably, if you're a mom and you have met other mothers in your journey, you know, you become friends with mothers because you have so much in common, right? So send the Mother's Day cards. That will be greatly appreciated. Okay, so there's my flower pot. And then we're going to use the other bloom. So this is some single blooms here. So we're going to take the Summer Splash and we'll do the leaves first. Start off there. And then let's bring in Peach Pie and do a little bloom to match the front of the card. So the bloom for that one is this guy. And when you look down through your photopolymer stamp, you can see if you turn it, you've got thick flowers at the bottom, and then it comes up into like a smaller array of flowers. So you can just practice on some grid paper or some scrap cardstock at first, but the placement is super easy. These look like lupins to me, or you know those flowers that are long and then they get tiny at the top. I love that style of flower. I'm really hoping this year I can have more flowers. We had a tragedy in Calgary last year with our water system, our underground water system down in the downtown area, down in Bowness area, was it ruptured underground, and we had major flooding. Like millions and millions of gallons of water came up from the underground, and it was just a nightmare. We had water restrictions all summer long, and my poor flowers were just, they took a bad hit. So I'm hoping this year we can have flowers and we can actually water them. I tried to keep them alive. My daughter and I went to the river and got water, just like, you know, ancient times, and tried to keep them alive. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. But this technique, I know, Elaine, I love techniques. It is definitely near and dear to my heart. And there's the inside. Let me flip you around. It is Thursday already. Let me just fix my camera here. It's Thursday. Can you believe it? Like, where's this week going? Tomorrow's Friday already. We have Fun Fold Friday tomorrow. Would not miss it. Thanks, Rebecca. I love this card and I love the technique, and I think there's so many things you can do with this, right? Thank you, Maggie. You remember that you were there in July? Yes, Krista, with the flooding. It was absolutely crazy. They were asking us to restrict all of our water use. Like, they were asking us to like take our dishwater, like use a pan in the sink and use the dishwater, and then take that dishwater and use that to water our plants. Like, it was just insane. Like, it was like something out of I don't know, like a horror movie to me. I really struggled with the water thing last year. Anyway, that's all. Hopefully it's all water under the bridge. We won't have to do it anymore. Thanks for the comments on the technique. I'm so happy you love it. If you live in Canada, reach out to me. I'll send you the technique for May. We are doing an amazing technique for May. We're doing the Joseph's Coat technique, which is absolutely stunning, and I would love to add you in to the class. So let me know if you want to join. It's a monthly class, and when you do 10 consecutive months, you get all the benefits, right? You get the reward from me. You get your Stampin' rewards every month. You can then cash in those rewards. Speaking of rewards, I have to remind you before I go, tomorrow is May 2nd. May 2nd and 3rd, Stampin' Up! Is having a promotion. Double Stampin' rewards. Double. You're going to get to double your rewards. So if you put in a $100 order or $50 order, your order just has to be over $25 in Canada. You're going to earn double rewards. It's going to be amazing. So let me know if you want to join the Technique Club. I'll prep the kits for you. I will send them to you. And the measurements for the card base. The card base is the pink layer, Linda. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And then I just used white. It's a very simple card. This is 3 3/4 by 5, my piece of basic white that I did the embossing technique, the partial embossing technique on. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. I will see you tomorrow morning for Fun Fold Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and take care, and I hope you get a chance to stamp today. Bye for now.